my birth preferences before Kaia's death were rooted in fear and a major mistrust of the medical community as a whole.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun.
Mommy needs her juice. Before anyone says that I am not glowing, this is the illusion of glowing. I'm in fact not glowing. I think I slept like garbage last night. How did you sleep? Oh. But anyway, it is Sunday. We are getting our announcement photos done. You couldn't tell. And nothing fits. So I am just wearing my usual orange little jumpsuit.
She's beautiful!
And we're gonna pose with the little orange checkered, what is it, gingham onesie. Do have a bit of an ocular migraine, it feels like, so I'm not feeling the greatest. But we're gonna try to do our best acting job, aren't we? Try to look super happy. So hopefully I can look good for 3 seconds, and we can get some nice photos to put up to this week. My brain. Isn't this the famous Wonderland Avenue where the Manson murders happened?
I don't know. You're the murder expert.
It is. This is where the Manson murders happened. The famous Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
Isn't it totally underwhelming? Realize the sun is too high in the sky, so we have to wait for it to go down a little bit to get better lighting. So we're just coming to the turtle pond. Look how big they got. Wow. He's so cute. Where?
Okay.
Oh, in the water?
Yeah, see right there?
Whoa, that thing's huge.
Damn, boy.
Damn, boy, you thick. That's a thick ass boy. Oh, damn. Back there, too. Little change of plans. I think we found a different spot that we like. The view of the lake here for the background of the photo. So we're gonna go grab our tripod. Okay, we're gonna attempt to do our pictures right there. Hopefully it's gonna be good. Oh, we did it. We got the portrait. And now I just have to go home and do the other picture. Okay, I've got this going on for a little announcement photo. This is the onesie and the little man. Hey guys, real quick editing Stefanie here. I felt awful yesterday. I had a pretty bad migraine and I just really didn't do much vlogging beyond what you saw. Sorry, Brennan, don't run away from me. But the pictures are going to be at the very end of the vlog after the end screen. I know sometimes I leave little clips after the end screen, so if you don't know that, a lot of times I have little clips at the end of my vlogs. So the photos, our announcement photos, will be at the very end of the vlog, and I hope you like them. Let me know what you think. Hello. Hello. Hello, welcome to the Q&A portion of the video, with Damien answering all of your questions. Just kidding. These are frequently asked questions that I get in the comment section, and just figured I would answer them here rather than trying to answer them every time in the questions, so hopefully that'll help. And let's get to it, huh? Got my little notebook here with everything written down. One of the more common questions that I get that I just, it's too much to answer in the comment section is, can you share a little bit more about borderline personality disorder and how to deal with narcissistic relationships? Dang it, stop that. You are crazy. You're chewing on my tripod. That is a very, very heavy topic. It is a lot to unpack. And I know eventually I'll probably delve more into the mental health stuff that I'm interested in. It's just, he's eating my tripod. Stop that. It's just that it's a very heavy topic, and I think I'll probably eventually do it when I'm ready. Dude, you're fired. Stop. Got my weapon. I don't actually squirt him with it, he knows. He's over there now. So, I'll have that on standby. But yeah, as I was saying, mental health stuff, that's something I definitely want to talk more about eventually. It's just that right now, I don't think I'm in the mental space to do that. So those are gonna be some long videos. And I'm just, eventually, probably sometime this year, but probably not anytime soon, is what I'm saying. How many cycles did you track before trying to conceive? I'm gonna assume you're talking about using the ovulation test strips, and the answer to that is 2? I think I tracked 2 cycles. And the first time, no, was it 1? So I didn't avoid conceiving the first cycle. The second cycle I went based on just tracking my menstrual cycle and what I assumed was my fertility window. And then the third cycle I actually tracked with the test strips, and that's when I conceived. So I guess technically it was 2 cycles that I was tracking, but only 1 that I actually used the thermometer and the test strips. How did you prep your body for trying to conceive after Kaia? I was actually quite anemic after giving birth, so I took iron supplements on top of the prenatals. I just really continued diligently with my nutrition, my supplements and everything, and ate whole foods. I didn't eat any processed foods. I ate a lot of vegetables, fresh vegetables, a lot of meat. I really limited my fruit and sugars and things that were going to be inflammatory to my body. And I know a lot of people think that meat's inflammatory. For me, that is not the case. Sugar is very inflammatory for me. Carbohydrates that are more like grains and cereals and processed foods, those are very inflammatory in my body. So I just ate low carb and made sure I had tons of fresh vegetables, tons of really good quality meat, and took all my supplements every single day. And that got me right on track within a couple of months. So my doctor felt that I was prepped and ready to try to conceive after doing my blood work again in September. He's like, you're good to go. So yeah, just really was diligent with my nutrition. And beyond that, I did exercise. I did the yoga. I did some postpartum ab exercises that are supposed to help close the diastasis recti. Just made my core strong again. Yeah, that's about it, really. Just stayed as healthy as possible. Do you have any techniques for dealing with anxiety? Yes. I mean, it's not perfect, you know, because I still have moments where I have anxiety, but it's definitely not like anxiety rules my life, you know. My biggest technique for coping with anxiety is mindfulness. And what that might look like is, because I think a lot of times anxiety comes from overthinking, right? We're thinking about stuff, we're thinking about things that worry us, we're thinking about the future, you know, just trying to avoid bad things or things that, you know, make us worried. So for me, I find I tend to think about stuff that makes me anxious when I'm doing household chores. That's when I become most anxious. So when I try to quiet my mind and control my anxiety, it's really from a mindfulness exercise where whatever I am doing, I tell myself what I'm doing in my brain. So I am forced to think about exactly what I'm doing in that moment. So for instance, if I'm doing the dishes, I will tell myself in my brain, okay, I am sudsing up the soap in the sponge and I am washing this plate in a clockwise motion. And now I am rinsing the plate and I'm turning the plate over and rinsing that side. Now I am taking the plate and putting it in the drying rack. And I will do that the whole time. And it really brings me back to the moment at hand. And I'm not thinking about the other things that I can't control in my life. And I'm back in the moment and feeling completely calm, because that's all I'm thinking about, is being mindful of what's happening in the moment. And you can do this with anything. Another good one is a grounding exercise where you physically ground your body. And you can do that with anything. I like to sit down and say, okay, I feel the weight of the couch holding me up. I feel my foot on the ground, and I feel the hardness of the floor and the texture of the carpet under my feet. I feel the texture of my notebook in my fingers. It feels slightly bumpy yet smooth, and I can feel the stitches right here on the side and the metal, and it's sharp on these corners. You know, it's just bringing yourself to the moment. And I know a lot of people think it sounds really woo-woo and, you know, stuff like that, but it works for me. It really does. And I do that, and the more I do it, the easier it is for me to say, okay, don't think about that, and then I don't think about it. You know? It takes a lot of practice, and it does start out with you having to be really, like, on it, like, just really thinking about exactly what you're doing at the moment. But yeah, that's that. There's also journaling exercises, which I'll probably get into another time, where I can go over what I did for several years as far as journaling went every single morning, writing affirmations and talking about my feelings and writing solutions for those feelings and everything. But yeah, that's a whole other can of worms that I'm just not ready to open right now. But those are my techniques. They might work for some people, they might not work for other people, but it works for me. So yeah. How many children and pets would you like to have? I think as far as the cats go, we're pretty capped out. We still have one foster who needs to find his forever home, and then we'll be capped out at what's left over, our cats. I do want a lizard at some point. I had a lizard for over a decade, moved down here with my eldest cat from Washington. I love having lizards. Cameron's not really on board. He doesn't like the little crawly things, but he does say that I can have a turtle pond, so maybe I can convince him of a lizard at some point. As far as children go, I know Kameron wants 4. I don't think I have enough time left to have 4 living children, but we'll see. I mean, we're definitely gonna try our hardest to bring as many children into the world as we can, but I'm hoping for 3. If not 3, then at least 2. But yeah, I'm hoping I have enough time left to have 3, possibly 4 children. And, you know, there's other ways of having babies aside from just, you know, bearing your own children. So, you know, if it ever comes to that, we'll take that journey as it comes. Do you think you're ever going to move to Texas or Washington, where your family's from? I'm not so keen on Texas just because I really don't like the desert. I'm not a big fan of the flat, everything, you know, and the just dust. I need to be near mountains. I need to be near the wilderness where I can hide under some shade because I don't like the sun. As far as Washington goes, I would love to live in Washington, but unfortunately, they're pretty much becoming a little California, like California .2. So that's definitely a no-go for me. I don't want to move to California just with rain, you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe Idaho. Maybe somewhere nice and quiet like Montana. Who knows, really? How did you deal with gender disappointment? You know, I don't know. I didn't really put a ton of thought into it. I think I grieved the whole girl mom future thing and all of that for maybe a couple days, and then I just got really excited. And I think that going and looking at little boy things made it a lot easier. I've always wanted a boy, so it's not like, you know, it's a totally lose-lose situation. But yeah, I think it's natural to have that gender disappointment, and if it might last longer for some people. For me, it really didn't last very long. So I don't have like the best advice on that. I'm sorry. Okay, this one I've gotten quite a few times, and I'm just like, why does this keep coming up? Is my neck big or something? Because people keep commenting saying like, have you had your thyroid checked? Your thyroid looks huge. Have you ever checked your thyroid hormones? And the answer is yes, they are normal. But now I'm like, is there something wrong with my neck? Do I need to like get a corset, waist trainer for my neck? Somebody called Jenny Craig. I don't know. That's a weird one. Do you have a birth preference, natural versus induction? I'm probably gonna go for induction, to be honest. Before Kaia's death, I was very much into the whole idea of having an unmedicated birth. And I actually did not get the epidural until I was almost 9 centimeters dilated. But it became too much for me at that point. And I know a lot of that was because the Pitocin was maxed out, and it does, you know, make contractions a lot more difficult to deal with. But in my case, they were maxed out a lot more quickly during a stillbirth than you would with like a live birth. So I know that even with an induction with a live birth, it's going to be less painful. But I had a lot of fear surrounding medical interventions with birth, but mostly my birth preferences before Kaia's death were rooted in fear and a major mistrust of the medical community as a whole, you know, especially based on how I was treated during my injuries in the past and how I was often thrown just opiates and gabapentin and just, here's all this stuff, this is your life now, rather than trying to find a solution for me. So I was very much like, I cured myself, not cured, but I treat my CIDP with nutrition, right? So why wouldn't I want to have a natural birth? Because that's, it's just different. I think moving forward, because I have lost a child, I want to be next to the OR. If anything goes wrong, if the cord slips down, I know people that have had the prolapsed cord and their babies almost died and they had to have emergency C-sections. So my biggest fear is that I'm not going to be anywhere near a place that I need to be in case something happens. And I know there's a lot of like rhetoric and everything about interventions causing more interventions and everything. And believe me, I was on board with all of that. But it's just different after you've lost a child. And I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me, but I'm going to get an induction. And I'm okay with that. And plenty of babies are born safely and perfectly fine vaginally with inductions. And yep, that's my choice. Will you be using some of Kaia's things for the rainbow baby? Yeah, of course. Some things I'm definitely going to use for our little man, like the dresser, the crib and everything, the car seat. I'm probably not going to use the dresses. Some things I do want to have just for Kaia to be put away and keep them in the condition that they're currently in, like some of the toys that I got that were hers specifically, some of her clothing that's hers specifically. Those will be kept in a safe place that's just like a memory box or whatever I choose to end up making, if it's a shadow box or like some kind of an armoire or something that has like her memorial items. Those will be just for her, but everything else is fair game for my future children, for them to share. The last two are a little interesting. If you actually wanted to help and teach people, your content would be ad-free. So people that help others and teach others should not be compensated for their time. So like therapists and doctors and professors and whatnot, they should just not be compensated. It's kind of weird. I mean, I can understand if I was like, join my website and pay this monthly fee to get access to my content. Yeah, that might be weird. But I'm not doing that, and I don't plan on doing that, and I don't really know what the harm is in having to skip a video after a few seconds. I don't know what the harm is in me being able to take some time and be home and take care of my animals and take care of my body and take care of my children. I don't think that's a crime. Yeah, I still work. I just work from home on my small business, so I guess I just don't really understand why it's so looked down on that I have monetized my channel. Should it just be free for anyone to watch my life? And I guess that's a bigger question. I don't think there's anything wrong with monetizing my content at all. It's not like I'm, just rolling in dough. Can you imagine? Here's a picture of me since monetizing my channel. Just swimming in wealth. gonna get a Tesla tomorrow if I learn to drive. I'm just messing with you. Let's move on. And then the last one. Ooh, we're opening up a can of worms. I've received this comment so many times in many different ways, and it is, you need to find Jesus. You need to find God. I hope you find Jesus. I hope you find God soon. And then my favorite is, you better find Jesus or you're never gonna see your daughter again. How can I put it? I'm trying to think of a good way to talk about this. I'm agnostic or atheist, or, I don't have proof of a God or an afterlife. But just because I don't have proof doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And everyone is well within their right to believe whatever they want to believe. I feel as long as you are not harming someone or threatening someone with your beliefs, then I am happy that you have a belief that makes you feel better, that brings you peace, that makes your life feel more full. But I don't need that in my life. I have a different set of beliefs that make sense to me. For instance, praying. If praying makes someone feel better, I'm so happy they have that. For me, I have a more psychological, scientific approach. Like, if I want to be relieved of anxiety or something, it doesn't make sense for me to ask someone who I have never seen before and don't know if they exist to please relieve me of my anxiety. I have to go about it a more scientific way, a more self-help sort of way. That makes sense to me. That's how I think, about life. That's how I approach life. It makes sense for me. The way I do things might not make sense for somebody else, and that's okay too. Whatever way somebody finds, as long as they're not hurting someone else, I think fantastic. I would never condemn someone for believing in God. I know that a lot of atheists do that, and I hate that. I think it's disgusting. I really can't stand it when atheists sit there and be like, you're fucking stupid because you believe, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Get out of here. Just the same way as I don't want someone to come to me with their religious beliefs and try to push them onto me and say that I'm going to go to hell if I don't believe in something. Because first of all, I believe that if there is a God, that God is not going to be that vindictive. Oh, you didn't believe in me? Well, you're going to come crawling back when you're burning in hell. Yeah, God's a valley girl, if you didn't know. No. If there's a God, I really don't think that God is vindictive enough to send you to hell for not believing something just because you didn't have the proof. Maybe one day I will go to the afterlife and God's gonna be there and be like, told ya. And I'll be like, well, shit, damn. All right. That's what I believe. I would love if religious people and non-religious people could coexist a lot more, For example, Kameron is Christian. He's always been Christian. He wears a crucifix every day under his clothing. He has crucifix in his closet. He has them amongst things in his car. He has them in his office. That's his belief. That makes him feel good. I'm happy for him. I don't want that religious stuff to be in our shared spaces just because I feel like, I want to be respected as well. But as far as his own personal space, he's free to do whatever he wants with his beliefs and everything. But the one thing I really loved about him is that when we met and we shared our beliefs on religion and spirituality and everything, he radically accepted me for my beliefs, and I radically accepted him for his beliefs. And we appreciate that we have different perspectives that we're able to bring to the table when we're faced with an issue. A lot of times we come together as a team with our different perspectives, and we find solutions and compromises to, problems that life brings to our table. And I feel like I wish more people were like that, because I know that atheists and religious people can be equally mean when it comes to, differing beliefs and everything. I guess you could say I'm very libertarian when it comes to religious beliefs. You do you, and I'll do me, and as long as we're not hurting each other or trying to take things away from each other or trying to force things on each other or hurting anyone else, then I'm all for whatever anyone wants to believe. But I would love for other people to give me that same respect. It's been 29 years since I was in church and felt, I don't really believe this. I was 6 years old. So yeah, there's nothing that's gonna change my mind. There's no pamphlet, there's no book, there's no video, there's nothing anyone can say to change what I believe as far as religion goes. And I know there's nothing that I'll ever say that'll change your mind about your beliefs. But I am hoping that we can all just respect each other's beliefs and live and let live. Because that's really my philosophy. I feel like it's brought me a lot of peace to just, accept people. There's just so much division in the world right now. I don't know if it's always been like that or if it's just a more recent thing, but there's division on everything. And I feel like there are certain people that want it to be that way. And they're being taught that, you have to hate your neighbor because they don't believe something that you believe in. And this is getting way more deep than it needs to be, but you get my point, right? I respect you. I respect what you believe, but please don't threaten me with your religion. Please don't threaten me with promises of hell and never seeing my child again, and, I'm happy that religion makes you happy. I'm happy that believing in God and praying makes you happy. But I'm also happy believing what I believe. That's really pretty much it. That's the end of the questions, and this vlog has gone on way long enough. Woo! Too long. So, you want to come say bye? Come on. Come say bye. Damien says bye, and he's going to close out the video, aren't ya? Bye. See you next time.